At last, the moment has arrived. August 20th is not just another ordinary day. It carries a subtle yet profound spiritual alignment, a moment when the universe seems to whisper truths you've never dared to face. The most familiar and closest people to you may unexpectedly become mirrors, reflecting the parts of you that remain unhealed. And this time, the challenge won't knock on your door with noise or chaos. It will come quietly, through intimate moments and seemingly harmless connections. It may be a message from someone you thought you had moved past, an unexpected call, or simply the presence of a person who leaves you unsettled. It's not that they intend to hurt you. Perhaps they don't even realize that their energy stirs something deep within you, something you may not yet be ready to face. On August 20th, pay special attention to protecting your inner space. Your emotions will be sensitive, easily influenced. Even the smallest distraction from a familiar relationship could disrupt the rhythm of connection you're building with yourself. If you feel the need to withdraw, to stay silent, or to simply carve out a private space, do it without guilt. This is not avoidance. This is profound self-care. There are moments meant for openness and sharing, but August 20th is not one of them. This is a time to learn how to say no gently, not as a rejection of others, but as a declaration of self-priority. If any of this resonates with you, take a deep breath, release, and write 777 as a sign that you are stepping into a season of protection and deeper self-understanding. Pay attention. Maybe the tone in someone's voice suddenly feels heavy, or a casual message unsettles your peace. These subtle cues are not random. They are signals of a shift already beginning. This isn't about words, it's about energy, about the weight of unspoken expectations, and you are learning to notice it quietly, yet with awakened awareness. You are no longer the person you were yesterday. A part of you is changing, silently, steadily, without display. This transformation doesn't need recognition, but it does need protection. You don't have to slam doors shut or cut ties with anyone. All you need to do is choose spaces where your mind and heart can breathe freely, where you don't have to decode or carry the tangled emotions of others. You don't need to be prepared to respond to every signal, at least not today, August 20th, the moment when energy demands clarity and boundaries. Perhaps someone close will unintentionally touch the very place you are still healing. They may not mean to, but your body will react before your mind can catch up. And that reaction, that is your answer. You don't need a logical reason to listen to yourself. Even when your mind insists you're overreacting, your soul knows what must be kept and what must be released, especially when an invitation feels gentle on the surface but leaves you feeling pressured. Especially when the presence of someone who once brought you peace now stirs a quiet unrest. Choosing silence is not avoidance. Choosing to step back is not cruelty. You are no longer the version of yourself that others once knew, and they may not easily accept that. But you don't owe anyone proof. This is the time to quietly step away from old patterns, without noise, without explanations. On August 20th, you have only one task: keep your frequency pure. Those most familiar to you may, unintentionally, shake your inner world the most, not because they are bad, but because they are still accustomed to the old you who no longer exists. Do not mistake familiarity for safety. Your new self is forming in silence, and it must be nurtured with stillness. If you feel the urge to say no, that is wisdom. If you sense you don't want to respond, that is a sign you need rest. You don't have to explain. Your boundaries will speak for you. Not reacting is self-protection. Non-attachment is maturity. Some will not understand, and you must accept that. This is not the time to be understood. This is the time to be whole. You are not here to soothe someone else's confusion. You are here to walk in alignment, and that journey must remain clear, especially from those who once believed they knew you best. So you step back quietly, not out of anger, but because you are beginning to understand yourself. You choose silence not to withdraw, but to keep your energy undisturbed. This silence is not empty. It carries awareness, clarity, and a firm commitment to protect what is forming within you. August 20th is not just another day, it is a moment when the surrounding energies turn strikingly subtle and profound. The moon pulls emotions from the deepest layers of your subconscious, stirring what you thought you had forgotten. At the same time, the sun's light serves as a mirror, revealing what is true and what is merely an old habit. This is the day to see yourself with awakened eyes, without disguise, without pretense, without avoidance. And when someone steps close to you on this day, especially someone familiar, it will not just be a conversation, it will be a turning point. You may feel drawn to respond, to reassure, to maintain comfort for others. But remember, sometimes not responding is the highest act. Because today, every word you speak carries a powerful frequency. And if it does not arise from inner stability, then no matter how gentle it seems, it can pull you off the path you are building. That is why the wisest choice today may be silence. Not to avoid, but to honor the sacred space you are guarding. Not every request deserves an immediate response. Not every expression of care comes at the right time. On August 20th, you must ask yourself, is this moment truly mine, or just a reflex of the old self I used to be? For right now, your intuition is stronger than any justification. Breathe deeply, listen, step into a conversation only if your new self is truly present there. This is not about rejection, it is about preservation, and precision at times requires space more than words. If within you there is no clear yes, then stop. Don't move forward, don't reply, don't explain. Let silence speak for you. It is not an escape, it is how you protect yourself. The space you preserve is not emptiness, but the sacred ground where your new self is being formed. And those who truly belong in this journey with you, they will understand, or at the very least, they will learn to respect it. You don't need to disappear from the world. You only need to choose with awareness. Instead of reacting, you reflect. On an ordinary day, this might be easy to overlook, but on August 20th, discernment becomes vital. Invitations, emotions, and memories may try to pull you back into an old version of yourself, the one who once traded peace just to keep a relationship that no longer fit. You've come too far to turn back. Don't let old habits make you lose your way. Don't mistake familiarity for harmony. Don't let energies from the past blur the purity you've worked so hard to cultivate. Let the moon stir old emotions, but don't let it pull you under. Let the sun expose what must dissolve, but don't allow anyone else's gaze to define your worth. And sometimes the most powerful action is no action at all. That day, time will move in its own rhythm, rushing past in moments, dragging heavily in others. You will notice strangeness within the familiar. Words, glances, even the air around you will carry more weight than usual. And you will feel yourself more vividly too. You may want to respond to someone's concern, to soothe their worry, to say, "I'm fine," just to keep the peace. But deep down, you know, you don't have to, not out of coldness, but out of steadiness. Because this time, you are no longer giving access simply because someone feels familiar. You are no longer stepping back just to hold on to a fragile connection. You are no longer slipping into an old skin just to make someone else comfortable. On August 20th, you do not bend yourself to fit anyone. You stand tall on your own ground. And yes, it may feel strange. It may even feel selfish. But it isn't. It is self-respect. It is a sign of maturity. The sensitive will notice the change in you. Some may stay silent. Some may try to draw you back closer. But closeness is not always alignment, especially today. Because what is growing within you does not need to be comforted, it needs to be nourished. And that can only happen in a truly quiet space, where you don't need to react, don't need to compromise, don't need to explain. If, before answering, you feel a tightening in your chest, that is not hesitation, that is wisdom. Sometimes your body knows something before your mind can name it. If there is a pause in your chest before you nod, That is not indecision. It is your primal intelligence speaking. It is intuition. It is a boundary surfacing before words. And on August 20th, you don't need to push past it. You are allowed to stop, to step back, to keep your distance if needed. You don't need to feel guilty for choosing silence, not on a day when the air itself seems suspended, inviting you to hear the subtlest truths, not when the sun is illuminating tiny cracks you once ignored, not when the moon is pulling up memories you thought were buried, not when your soul is whispering, "Please don't let anyone too close today." And yes, it is not wrong to love someone from a safe distance, to withdraw for a while, to pause your response, to stop carrying the weight of others' emotions. Your silence is not avoidance. It is another form of presence, deeper, more conscious. Not everyone will understand this, but the ones meant to remain will not leave just because you stayed quiet for a day. When the message comes, and it will, you don't need to rush to reply. Let it sit. Let it breathe. If the connection truly matters, it will withstand the pause. If not, you already have your answer, and that answer does not need to be spoken. It will arrive in the lightness you feel when you are no longer pulled in, when you no longer react out of old habits, when you no longer put back on the skin you've already shed. You stand still. You let emotions pass over you like waves. They do not swallow you. They do not carry you away. And if someone feels distant, if they come close only to hear your response, to be reassured, to be affirmed, you will see it clearly. Not everyone is meant to walk forward with you. August 20th is not a day of farewells, but of clarity, a day to see who comes for your presence and who comes for your reaction, who loves you as you are and who loves the image they want you to remain. You do not need to apologize for protecting yourself, because today you are not choosing to soothe someone else's unease at the cost of your own well-being. You do not open the door just because someone knocks. You do not nod simply because someone is waiting. You choose yourself fully, quietly, and clearly. And the moment you do, something shifts. You grow. There is no loud noise, but a profound change. A turning point that needs no proof. For the first time, you do not betray yourself just to be understood. You remain whole, not because someone came close, but because you have finally come close to yourself. This is the day you do not open the door to invite someone back into a space they no longer belong, not out of carelessness, but out of understanding. The silence you choose is not coldness, it is care. Care for yourself and for the transformation unfolding within you. You have learned the sacred truth hidden in silence. That truth does not need words. That love does not always require closeness. Sometimes the greatest act of love is to keep silent and allow time to heal what words cannot. As the energy of August 20th settles, as night drapes itself in a softer weight, you will recognize that you have crossed an inner threshold, not with noise but with steadiness and intention. Peace will flow from your thoughts into your body, and your heart will be still like a deep lake. You will not need to justify yourself, nor to fill the space with words. You are standing in the quiet space between old habits and new awareness, and this is where true transformation takes place. This is not a lesson for others. It is a return to yourself. Remember, peace does not need anyone else's validation. Your intuition does not need explanation. When something feels wrong, even if it comes from someone you love, a step back is not rejection, but protection. On days like this, such protection is not optional, it is sacred. The heightened energy of August is powerful, what many call the 8-8 Lion's Gate portal, peaking around the 20th, opening waves of strong manifestation, deep inner messages, and rapid awakening. At the same time, your mind and nervous system are more sensitive than ever. Vibrations, confusion, and disturbances from others can easily seep in. But you have full authority to guard your space. Some may feel confused, some may mourn your silence, but that is not your responsibility. You are not here to reconcile everyone else's energy to keep the peace. This time, you stand firm for the self that is quietly growing within you. And when you let hesitation exist, when you don't reply right away, when you don't show up just because someone expects it, you are protecting what is sacred inside. Today is not for fixing, explaining, or compromising your intuition. It is for protecting it by refusing to react. Because what is becoming within you is fragile yet powerful. You are maturing naturally within silence. Those who truly love you will not only wait, they will honor it. On a day like today, the value of something is no longer in words, but in energy. And energy does not lie. You feel it, don't you? A voice that seems ordinary suddenly weighs heavy. A light request strangely drains your strength. A conversation leaves you breathless, unable to continue. That is not coincidence. That is a signal. And finally, you are clear enough to understand it. August 20th does not arrive with noise. It does not arrive with loud knocks or drama. It whispers, slipping through your chest, into every fiber of your being, warning that this is a moment of testing. No pretending, no explanations. You remain silent. You do not chase comfort from the outside. You do not apologize for your silence. You do not try to ease their unease. You let the moment stand exactly as it is, unseen yet undeniable in its power. Because this time you are not proving anything. You are protecting what is most sacred, your peace, your maturity, your inner clarity, and that is never easy. The pull to return is still very real. But so is your awareness, stronger than before. Not every familiar gesture is worth engaging. Not every invitation is meant to lead you into your higher self. Today you undergo a kind of surgery without blades, without sound, only your being and your decision. When you choose silence instead of reaction, space instead of explanation, harmony instead of reluctant agreement, the universe responds. The sunlight of Leo season pushes your being forward. The moon draws out your inner shadows so you can see every layer you once tried to hide. Together they form a mirror, not of who you thought you were under the weight of others' expectations, but of who you are now, in silence, steady and without regret. If the air feels heavy, if conversations rattle every layer of your senses, if others press in while all you need is stillness, know this: the tension does not come from them, but from your own inner evolution. When night falls, when the burden of the day is released, you will see it clearly. One gate has closed, another has opened. You do not simply survive this test, you are grateful for it. How many times have you ignored the dissonance when words did not match the energy? How many times did you excuse that subtle resistance within you? You called it normal, you called it love. But today, the universe does not allow excuses. You feel it in every small exchange, in every quiet beat of your heart, and it is no accident. It is the message your nervous system, your intuition, your energy are all sending in unison. Stop, do not repeat the old pattern. Awaken. Because not everyone who walks beside you is meant to walk with you to the end. Not every connection deserves to lean on you, especially when respect is absent. Today, the energy reveals this in a way you cannot deny, not with explosions or arguments, but with soft repetitions, familiar interactions you once endured in silence. At times, your emotions rise like a beacon in the fog. You may realize how hard you've worked to keep the surface calm while inside you were screaming. The smile remains on your face, but your body is tense. You say, "I'm fine," while your inner self sounds the alarm. This is not weakness. This is truth, a message your body sends to remind you of what you once ignored. August 20th does not bring chaos. It quietly unveils what you need to see. And if you pause to listen, you will realize you no longer wish to excuse the things that drain you. That is why today's silence carries a different weight, steadier, truer. Withdrawal is not escape, but an act of self-respect. You no longer feel the need to respond to everything. Not everyone deserves access to you at all times, in every state. This is not about cutting everyone off. This is about clarity. You are learning the difference between those who allow you to be fully yourself and those who only come to you for the version they can control. Today exists to reveal that. So if you decline an invitation, leave a message unanswered, or simply remain silent, it is not selfishness. It is the necessary alignment. You don't need to explain why you choose peace. If someone can't see it, maybe they're not meant to. If someone misunderstands, let them. Silence will speak for you. Today is not just another ordinary day. It is a turning point, a moment where you stop choosing to please others and start living true to yourself. And from that moment on, you will never be the same again. Sometimes the universe doesn't speak in words. It simply poses a silent question. Are you ready to truly see now? And on August 20th, everything seems to slow down just enough for you to realize this was never about anyone else. It has always been about you, about whether you've learned how to remain steady in your own energy without seeking validation, without explaining, without shrinking back for the sake of others. Today does not ask you to react. It invites you to observe. Because only when you stop trying to please everyone do the hidden truths begin to emerge. The familiar reactions start to fade, replaced by a new awareness of where you've been leaking your energy and why you've felt drained after conversations that seemed harmless on the surface. What you see today is not random, it is a sign. It is how you recognize who truly shows up for you and who is only there as long as you fit the image they expect. This awakening is not loud. It happens in the quiet moments, when you choose silence instead of arguing, when you hold your boundaries without needing to shout. August 20th is not an ending, but a gentle yet decisive shift. It marks the moment you stop negotiating with your peace, and when you refuse to trade yourself away for acceptance, new doors will open, leading you to healthy connections where love does not demand exhaustion to survive. Tonight, take a deep breath. Know that you are not losing anything precious by choosing yourself. What no longer fits is leaving, and that is a blessing. For the light of today is not a blinding brightness, it is clarity, a reminder that you are ready for the next chapter, and this time you don't need anyone to confirm it for you.